Okay, so this movie, like all the movies that we make together, is started as a rough sketch, and that is appropriate to know that I'm sitting here in my man cave, haven't yet combed my hair, so you're kind of getting a wild man production here as I start the timeline. But keep that in mind that this is just take one. We can make um, more refined timeline part of our documentary. My purpose today is to just communicate some of the research I've done on where we're at on the timeline and then some suggestions of where we would go in our timeline. And so this story, F4 project for Kid Power, starts in, it was probably early July, it was early spring, probably June perhaps, that Grant called me. Grant and I had been meeting for the past couple years when I took on this project, and um, Grant wanted to see what I could do to help them document their success at Kid Power. And as we talked about this, I was going through some changes in how I would like to approach evaluation. So I said, Grant, do you want me to provide to you the same old stuff, the junk that I've been doing as an evaluator for all these years? Or do you want to do something that works? And he asked, well, what do you mean? And so I explained to him how um, the evaluations that are traditionally done end up with results that um, are not informing projects. They are limited in their ability to make a difference. And so he listened to this and said, yeah, I'd be interested in seeing what we could do. And so I gave him some philosophy behind what I was talking about. Then later, I had an opportunity to go to Washington, D.C. And while there, I asked for audience with both Grant and Andrea. And so this was in July of 2016 when I um, met with Andrea. Grant was in Arizona at the time. And I spent the first few minutes eating grapes and other fruit that I had acquired at a 7-Eleven. And we um, used that as an object lesson for me to introduce to Andrea the concept of foundation practice. I was demonstrating the practice of mindful eating, and then use that little object lesson as a segue to talk to her about things I've observed about evaluation and project implementation or intervention. And I kind of gave her the brief vision of what I was led to propose to Andrea, to Kid Power, to Grant, and the rest of them. And after our meeting, which lasted for perhaps about 40 minutes, 30, 40 minutes, she said, what's the next step? And I said, the next step is for me to go home and to make a video, a trailer, if you will, that will basically just repeat the same pitch that I have made to you. So that was my next step, and that began the process. So I created that trailer, that review of the underlying philosophy that is going to guide the Kid Power F4 project and does. And then we, Andrea, um, had to take time off because she was going to have a baby. I continued to work on the project and working with Grant, and have been incrementally working that project for the past year. So now we are I'm making this. This is June 2nd, 2017, so we're 11 months out. Not quite 11 months, because I think I met with her on July 20th. So we're getting close to being a year out. And I'm excited because I think we've accomplished much. And so I'll summarize what we've accomplished since I met with Andrea on the 20th of July in 2016. Then it was December 2nd when I sent out the movie describing the foundation practices for the F4 project. I believe that was the trailer, or no, that was in August. I'm sorry, August 20th, I think. I released the F4 movie trailer, and that presents the basic ideas, the basic proposal, basically what I was talking with Andrea about. Then it was in March 14th, 2017, I created the movie review tool. I released that dashboard on the 18th of March 2017. The gift box, pizza delivery, some preliminary movies. On the 22nd of March, there was a lot of activity in March. I released the movie Changing Breaks to set a frame for what it is we're doing with regards to the movies. And on the 24th of March, that's when I released the Foundation Practice Part 1 and Part 2. And then I've been in development working on some of the superstructure, the substructure of the F4 project all the way up till now. And I promised Grant a timeline. That's what I'm delivering today. And this is the first version of that. So I will continue to edit this until it shows where we're at, and then what I propose, where we go with regards to the development of the project and the timeline that we are on.